Tenet 18. Humans have the ability to achieve peace and harmony on Earth. We can do this. I do not mean that we will achieve peace on Earth, but only that we have the ability. Through my studies, I have never doubted the power of belief. If the entire population were to believe in the same thing, no matter what it was, we would be better off. Unfortunately, when this information does not match reality, there arise serious questions and objections. Hence, books like this come popping out of the woodwork in an attempt to answer such questions, until we all discover something that we can agree upon. If you can achieve one thing as a society, then you can achieve another. We have achieved the society that we see today by following all that we think and believe. Should I say, all that we thought and believed? I have mentioned many times what we have achieved. If we can achieve this difficult society that we see today, then why can we not push to make it better? We do this already, or else we would still be in the wild, wild west without law and order, where you need only open your mouth to get shot. Many places still live like that, and many live worse than that every second. Laws are good when they work for you. We use law today, and it will only get better in the future if we make it that way. You are not subservient, a slave to law. We make laws, then follow them as best you can. Most of us are resistant to them because we break them all the time, every day for some of us. This is for two clear reasons. We want to die, don't know it, and proceed down courses of self-destruction, which are against the law. It is against the law to destroy yourself. The other reason is that the law is flawed and needs to be corrected. Laws are flawed for many reasons. Mainly it is because they are based on false premises like desire to retain and gain money, resources, and control, or they are based on what we think God's will is, which of course is our own will manifested through goofy stories that we made up thousands of years ago that creep into how we govern the planet. Laws are also flawed in that they go to extremes to protect you, like showing you the brutal execution of the psychopathic serial killer who did in your mother's side of the family. Rage builds upon rage, and you want to see some portion of the pain inflicted upon your family inflicted upon him. Just put him out if that is the law. I say we send them all in ships, even if it's me, to other planets far away to colonize like we did in Australia. This is extreme for that individual who follows blindly its own nature. It is not responsible for its nature, but we hold the person responsible since they apparently refuse to. Oh, that might be you? That is law. When people do not take responsibility for themselves and the universe around them, they are in violation of the law. If people follow their nature blindly, then obviously horrible things happen. We are all capable of these things at any time, and peace cannot be achieved when we do not make ourselves aware of that. That is what the U.S. does. We make movies for all to see of the atrocious nature of humans. Our movies are very disturbing. See Hostel, Saw, and any Hannibal Lecter movie. Instead of actually doing these deeds, someday we will watch in horror and never hear of their occurrence. Today, many people do the things that they see others doing on television, on the internet, in books, and right in front of them. Again, we are all children witnessing the actions of others and our own actions. Humans do this in order to understand their nature. Our nature is also to be safe, so other humans work on that. This seems to be a stage of human awareness as we struggle to realize ourselves. When you think of worldwide peace, you may imagine 7 billion drones who civilly confront each other, everyone loving everyone else to such extents to make us sick today. If you giggled at that, then you are very much a part of all of this. You may imagine that there is no physical fighting, Why not? The body is not where things happen, and abusing it only makes the person worse in their hatred and fear of you, humanity, let alone the fact that it impairs their movement. Is your goal to be feared by people and hated? Perhaps now, but as you realize what you are and your insignificance in this universe and your reliance on the humans next to you, you may change the things whirling around in your head because you can. Apparently, humans can do whatever they want. Last I heard, bears couldn't read. What else can you imagine for world peace? No physical war? Killing people solves nothing, yet that is what we do today. Think about it. You are wise enough to understand these things that I write here. Why do you not go out and shoot everyone because they believe differently than you, like they have been doing in the Middle East for thousands of years? I will tell you why. It doesn't work. In the future, there may be no need to take a bullet in the chest for your country. We are all from the same country, Earth. This is why peace is so difficult. We draw so many lines where there are none. This starts in your own head, where you torment yourself first for many reasons that do not exist outside of you. Then you go on to assign all of this to everyone and everything else that is different on this planet. Different in quotation marks. Here, I remind you that you then move on to your home, neighborhood, town, city, nation, and planet. We are all too ready to go affect and infect everyone else way before we know anything real about ourselves. Your mental understanding of the world, Earth, is more important than what you do. If you are at peace with your position in this universe, pointless as it is, then that peace and knowledge will emanate out of you like the energetic well that you are. The position that I have been referring to has not changed for thousands of years. We have always been alone here to do whatever we want for no apparent reason. We are all just trying our best to live. This position also implies that humans have never really figured out their position, so they go out in an infinite number of directions trying and dying to figure it out. I must laugh. There is enough truth here for the humans on this planet to be thoroughly afraid of, confused by, and amazed at for many generations to come. It is truly a wonder that we are all here at all. In this, we remember our position and see others as victims of circumstance. Again, none of us chose our individual positions. This is how peace is achieved within yourself and between people. You did not do any of this. You did not choose to be born into your life. You have a body and a brain, and all that it contains that you did not choose. And neither did any of the other 7 billion people on the planet. As we live, we use the body and brain to do what we want. The body is not yours. You did not choose it. The color of your skin is not yours, and yet you take false pride in it. I think you like this and understand it, so I will continue to tell you that which is not yours. Your brain is not yours, if I may be oxymoronic. The thoughts, ideas, and other energetic patterns that roam around you are not yours either. You are yours. Your life is not even yours because you did not choose it. All you can do is choose to use all that is around you. You don't know it, but that is what you do already. You are just not consciously aware of it until something brings it up directly, like this parchment piece of paper or this audio book. You choose and chose to follow certain patterns of behavior that your brain presents to you. Your brain is the universe talking to you. You think that you are talking to yourself, but your brain has constructed these things for you to hear and see in your mind so that you may try to understand your position at any given moment. That may be too deep of an example, so here is another example of what is around you that you use. You have ideas of women and men. You have ideas on race and culture. You have ideas on war and peace. You have ideas on which grocery store is best. You have ideas on what ideas are. You have ideas of who your family is and opinions about what they do. All of these ideas are there for your perusal, for you to look at and observe and decide which to use in any situation where you may need to use them. Once you realize this, you may do whatever you want with the thoughts that are not you. You may realize that your ability to see and understand them becomes much more acute, and you can see and imagine what purposes they serve for you. You can also make them explode. Throw them to the other side of your mind to tangle with other patterns. Just like outside your mind, you can do anything you want inside your head. You do not need to be a victim of your brain. I know we do not see things this way as a race of people. We see ourselves as victims of so many other things that we cannot change and cannot know. You can know yourself pretty well, but never completely. You can see now how difficult it is to know someone else completely as you try to know yourself. Somehow, you tell yourself that you know another person while simply knowing the self completely is so incredibly difficult. Knowing yourself is to know all that is immediately around you. This is, first and foremost, everything that is in your brain. It helps to know that you are in your brain, and even though this knowledge is somewhat difficult to acquire, it helps to know what your brain is and how it works, since it is where you exist in reality. I am talking about the actual structures. We should learn these things at an early age because it is where we are first. It is where we create our own mental existence, and it is the source from which our energetic existence emanates. If you are an older person and reading this, you can see very clearly all that you have created and facilitated, allowed to exist and thrive in your brain that gives rise to your mental existence. Old habits do not have to be hard to break. Just throw them against a wall and clean up the mess. Cleaning up the mess is very important because all of those little pieces scurry off to different parts of your brain to do whatever they will to whatever they will. The point of all of the above is that you are simply an awareness inside a brain and within a life that you did not choose and neither did anyone else. If you can fathom that, then you are well on your way to knowing peace within yourself and can go out and see what all this is that we have created for ourselves and start changing it. Peace can be achieved when people cease to stare at each other and begin to look more exclusively at the person who makes the most difference in the world and how you see it. You. Other people do not tell you things. You tell yourself what they have told you over and over, even in the moment. Here is another point regarding law and how we keep and maintain it. There is no one watching us. We are watching ourselves. We are the only judges of us. We have every right in the universe to judge ourselves. Judging is what we do every day, and we try to do it well, some of us. How we judge is an entirely different story. To say that a person is a certain way solely based on their dress code and use it against them is to be judging quite improperly. You must refine your ability to judge accurately. That is what this book is all about. You must know what the universe is in order to judge it well. You must know as many circumstances as possible that exist in order to judge even close to perfectly. We do not need to tell ourselves not to judge each other anymore, when that is what we obviously do. We are all that we have. I will judge everyone, and so will you. You have no choice in the matter. You must judge everything. Again, upon what basis you judge things is an entirely different story that I will leave you to write. All 7 billion of us may judge each other as much as we like. That is what we do, and it is what we have always done. Know yourself to be a judge of everything, and know that your abilities to judge are not yours, but they are at your disposal. You can view how you judge, and what you see is not you, but things you have learned. I know that I may assume too much. I just have this feeling that you do not want to admit that you judge everything because we have put such a negative connotation on the action of judging. Energetically, you have no choice. You take in patterns and process them. In processing, you judge what to do with them and how to act on them. After humans get over this hurdle, we can realize that we need to judge each other more and make sure that we are all living in decent fashion. You cannot let others get away with controlling and abusing other people. If you see it or experience it, you must figure out who can help and let someone know. Through time, we will watch each other comfortably with things that we have to hide well hidden. We are the only judges here, and what you are doing may not be acceptable to the rest of us. Eventually, our judgments will make sense, and so will our laws. Since we make up our own purposes, this tenet seems like a decent one. We have always been working on this, and there is no reason why we should stop, especially since, after all this, we have a better foundation of belief to achieve it. Peace will be achieved when we all realize our position and accept it. That position is much more interesting than many of us give it credit for. Our position is as free as it has been determined. You are freer than you probably think. That is what I'm trying to reveal. This book is for all of us to understand our position. This is not a confining position like being a man. In fact, it is a position of being the universe. It makes sense to many people to ask, how can I be a man? Hence, it should make equal sense to ask, how can I be the universe? There is manhood, and then there is universehood. When one realizes that they are a true whatever, man, woman, Christian, Muslim, or animal, as they have desired to be, then they feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement toward an ultimate goal that they made for themselves. You would say that person is now a man as we define it. Now, if you so choose, you may be the universe as you begin to realize that you are and have always been. This is power in realizing what you are. When you ask yourself, am I the universe? It is the same as asking if you are a man. What does it mean to be the universe aware of itself? It means that you have been born into a position of universehood, like manhood or womanhood, but more encompassing and less limiting. Before you label yourself a man or a woman, know that you are the universe aware of the body that you were born into. This is our position that is the same for all of us. We are universal beings born on a planet. After birth, we start to see all the things that we do and have done, and we get very involved and wrapped up in it. This makes it all the more difficult to govern. When one thinks about the difficulties of governing oneself and then thinks about governing 7 billion people, it can seem a little overwhelming. It is important for our survival that we believe that this is a possibility somehow. Imagine if we had 9 planets of people. Imagine if we had only 110 people on this planet. With current knowledge, those 110 people would be able to believe pretty realistically. With 9 planets of people, governing 1 planet would seem easier. And truly, there are probably other planets with governments of some kind. We achieved war by believing in it, obviously. Surely we can believe that it is not and was never necessary. This starts with you inside your brain erasing lines and legends that rule your daily existence. The lies and legends can stay, but must be identified as such, and your current beliefs of reality must not be bound by fiction. Fiction serves addictions. Our wars will become mental, and we can only benefit by fighting them in our heads and not chopping them off. After doing this, you will realize what it takes for you to know others truly and for them to know themselves, and how difficult a task that can be. When you hurt someone in any way, You do not know yourself well enough. That small action of deceit or ill words is just the tip of the iceberg for you, and you should know it. Go full on in your head and channel it outside of yourself in ways that do not kill people or even hurt them. Find other ways to vent your energy. You have the ability to go full on in your head so that you can see all the patterns that you are calling you. Then choose which of those thoughts and ideas that you wish to accept and deal with as they exist as energetic patterns that roam and do their own thing in your mind when you are not watching. Your brain is much more exciting than you have ever imagined, and it will always be that way because you cannot possibly fathom that much excitement elsewhere. This is what leads many to believe that there must be something else because we are really amazing. Back to the meat and potatoes of this tenet. Believe that peace can be achieved, and it will. But guess what? Belief alone will not do it. Will do it. Go will. Our will do what we want it to do if we say that we want it to do something. I say the world needs to know everything that has been discovered all over the world. Every tribe, every nation, every person. Peace is in you to be discovered and in all of us. If you cannot find peace within yourself, then those around you will share in your difficulty. Remember, you did not ask for this, but you may accept your position, the fact that you were born right where you are now. You can be a born-again energeticist if you like, because your moment of awareness is actually always now. Your thoughts await your arrival. Many of them are not nice at all. What will you do about that? Will you just act upon them until you die and not know why? Will you seize them this very moment and bash them against your mental table repeatedly and ask them why? Will you embrace some of them a little more because they have always been there for you to allow you to enjoy anything in what you may see as a miserable life? Will you cry when you look at all that you have called yourself your entire life when you realize that none of it is you? You are looking at it. How can it be you? If you run, then war will ensue, within you and without. If you ignore you, then you are ignoring us, and we are all children in our knowledge of our existence. Your basic instinct would like you to visit. Take over your breathing from time to time. Walk off pace deliberately. Deny everything that anyone ever told you and reassess it whenever you get a chance. Discover all the ideas and thoughts that you are not aware of. In this, you will laugh because you will see that you are a child. Learn everything that you never knew existed. This planet is really exciting, but could be a little more peaceful. What do you believe? Many of us throughout history have believed in the idea that peace is attainable. This is just a reminder. For those of you who wish to destroy things and people by following your instinct, please ask yourself why. As the universe becoming aware of itself, you should be able to find an answer. Just a note for you. I noticed that I failed to mention harmony. We would all have to be in tune with each other for that to be the reality that each of us perceive. When you can achieve that within yourself, you will really like it. Then you can do it with another energetic being on this planet, like the person or people who live with and around you. You are an energetic geyser. Actually, harmony is everywhere around you. The universe is perfect. I do not know where I explain this, but I know that it must be explained. I will go ahead and mention what that means. The universe is perfect in that it does exactly what it must do at any given moment. Every occurrence happens exactly as every atom came together to form an event. As Dr. Nichols said, and would always say, it happened and could be no other way. Do not bemoan the past, but prepare for the future. Now, the harmony that we speak of in this tenet is in fact your inner harmony and that of the human race. Just to be clear, and that is all for this one. The rest is for you to make up. The Tenet stands alone.